All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm back with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakakwadash. And I wanted to land back off a title that I saw on my YouTube feed earlier from the beloved elder brother Ayash out of GMS, Mississippi. All right, he had a video titled, I believe it said, we know what peace and safety really means. And that's pretty heavy considering what's in the headlines right now. All right, as we're going to get into here. This is from the epochtimes.com, right? Because he's right. We definitely know what peace and safety really means, according to the scriptures, right? So it says Trump world leaders signed Gaza peace declaration after living hostages freed, all right? So here we go. Trump world leaders signed Gaza peace declaration after living hostages freed. It says in an address to the Knesset, if I'm pronouncing that right, it says Trump hailed the, quote, historic dawn of a new Middle East, right? As 20 remaining living hostages are released to Israel, right? So you know what time it is, right? It says here's the latest. Trump departs Middle East after signing his historic peace declaration. It gets into this article of the families of hostages revealed their loved ones' experiences. Egypt awards Trump its highest state of honor. It says IDF escorting bodies of 4 hostages. Trump declares end to war in Gaza. See, you know, so your spiritual antennas got to be up, right? Again, Romans 13 and 11. Okay, this is Romans 13 and 11. It says, "In that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe." You see that? So everything, again, is moving according to the plan of the Lord. Okay, so as we go through these topics and these current events and these news, and the news is taking place worldwide, again, it's all aligning with prophecy. Okay, we know the time, that the time of destruction and salvation is close. All right, but it says here, let's make this bigger. It says Trump departs Middle East after signing a historic peace declaration. Right? It says President Donald Trump has departed Egypt on Air Force One after meeting with world leaders in Sharm el Sheikh. The Gaza ceasefire declaration that Trump signed with partners from Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey affirms that the signatories, quote, pursue a comprehensive vision of peace, security, and shared prosperity in the region. See? Grounded in the principles of mutual respect and shared destiny. See that? So again, we already know what's up. We know, again, as the brother said, we know what peace and safety really means. Right? Now, before we go there, all right, let me get this real quick. All right, because we know it's all smoke and mirrors at the end of the day. All right, there's not going to be any peace in the so-called Middle East, man. All right, that's where the Lord is getting ready to wage war. Matter of fact, before we go there, all right, what is Zephaniah? Was it 3 and 8? What does that say? All right, Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8, it says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, into the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." Right? So that region of the world, okay, is where Yahweh Shem Shai is going to gather the nations, all right, the so-called Middle East, okay, the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, okay, the battle of Armageddon, that's where it's going to go down, all right. So right now, again, as we talk about, they're lowering these people back to sleep, all right, to make, to paint Trump as this, international hero, man. All right, but it's all nonsense, right? Obadiah 1:1, it says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So, hey, this is not going to be stopped. All right, these nations are currently still, okay, arming themselves up and preparing themselves to go to war with Esau, Edom. Okay, this Western, power structure, man. America, NATO, and the EU. Okay, and these nations are standing up and preparing for that battle. Okay, despite what we're seeing being pushed in the headlines. All right, it says, because a prophecy is going to stand at the end of the day. Obadiah 1:2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. All right, so these, again, going into these tiny hats, okay, they're greatly despised around the world, man. All right, and we're gonna play this video of of Trump. Apparently, he freed all those hostages that they had in Israel, or that Hamas had under Trump's peace deal. All right, so it's just a lot of folly and a lot of BS that's going on. All right, but anyway, let me finish this out, and we'll get back to the point. Obadiah 1:3, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? All right, and that's the mindset of the Edomites. Okay, that they'll never lose, their dominance over the planet. They're never going to fall from power. All right, this is why the spirit has been on Esau lately. Of you've summoned the dragon. They're so-called reawakening the warrior spirit. All right, make America great again. You see what I'm saying? That spirit of reviving, his power, his kingdom. This spirit of the revival of Rome, America 2.0. The Edomite spirit. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shah. So his fall is inevitable, no matter what he tries to do. Verse 5, it says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? All right, Esau not leaving nothing. All right, he's going to take everything. How are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? The point, verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, right? And prevailed against thee. It says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him, right? So I want to hit this in the chat, right? Because this is what's going on now. All right, this false sense of peace, right? So it says, Obadiah 1:6 and 7, one of the most revealing prophecies about Esau's secret wisdom, deceit, and downfall. It says, let's break it down phrase by phrase with understanding historical context and spiritual meaning. All right, so we got the verse here, Obadiah 1:6 and 7, as we read. All right, so it says, how are the things that Esau searched out? It says, this shows that Esau's secret plots, hidden systems, and deep craftiness, it says, things long concealed from the world will be exposed in the end, as it's been happening. Searched out means investigated, uncovered, or discovered. Hidden things refers to a secret councils. It says covert operations, hidden societies, and manipulative world systems, financial, political, religious, and scientific. And all these things are being exposed, right? The point I want to get to, right? Matter of fact, we'll read on. It says, parallel scriptures, Job 20 and 27, Jeremiah 49 and 10, Luke 12 and 2. Interpretation, the Most High is exposing Esau's secret knowledge. His, quote, wisdom of this world, 1 Corinthians 3 and 19, whether through whistleblowers, historical revelation, or spiritual awakening among the elect. Man. It says the quote hidden wisdom he once used to dominate nations through lies, science, falsely so-called secret banking systems, and deception is being searched out and laid open, right? The point, verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the borders. Meaning, this means Esau's allies, the nations and institutions he made treaties and alliances with, will turn against him and betray him. See? So all this is just, it's just a false sense of peace. All right? Because these devils, they can't offset prophecy. They can't change the will of the Lord, is my point. It says, quote, men of thy confederacy equal his political and military allies, NATO, EU, UN partnerships, etc. It says, brought thee even to the border. It says, equal, they will push him to his limits, betray him when he least expects it. You see? Let's read that again. Salakia. Man. It says, meaning, this means Esau's allies, the nations and institutions he made treaties with, or treaties and alliances with, will turn against him and betray him. And this is what's going to happen. Okay? Again, this is all a false sense of peace. All right? They're pushing on the people. All right? You can't offset prophecy. Right? It says, men of thy confederacy equal his political and military allies, NATO, EU, UN partnerships, etc. Brought thee even to the border, equal, they will push him to his limits, betray him when he least expects it, right? Men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. False alliances, nations that once cooperated will rise against him. Okay? And these nations, as we read, right? Let me go down. It says the Gaza ceasefire declaration that Trump signed with partners from Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey affirms that the signatories, quote, pursue a comprehensive vision of peace, security, and shared prosperity in the region, grounded in the principles of mutual respect and shared destiny. And these same nations are going to turn on Babylon, on America, right? It says, and many more other nations, right? It says, quote, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, equal those who benefited from his wealth and influence, trade partners, corporations, elites will secretly plan his downfall, right? It says there is no understanding in him. His fame, wisdom, Edomite cunning, intelligence agencies, think tanks, secret orders will fail him. Confusion will replace strategy, right? And look what's going on now, right? But that's the point there. So let's go, let's play the video and we'll grab some more points here, right? It says all living Hamas hostages released under Trump's peace deal, right?
Tonight, the miraculous homecoming. Jubilation as vans carry freed Israeli hostages back into Israel. And the moment, the massive crowd that packed Hostage Square all night erupts in cheers.
It's an incredible moment right now here at Hostage Square. Everyone's looking to the skies because a military helicopter carrying some of the hostages flying over Tel Aviv right now.
All day, the emotion.
And the scripture said that there is no peace to the wicked. All right? So look how heavy, this is heavy stuff. So you got these tiny hats, they're celebrating and all of that. Not knowing that, the destruction is getting ready to fall upon them. So heavy things are about to happen in the spirit, man, is the point.
Helicopter carrying some of the hostages flying over Tel Aviv right now.
All day, the emotions pouring out after 738 days, many in underground Hamas tunnels. 20 Israelis are finally back home. 2 years ago, the world watched in horror at these images. Hamas terrorists abducting Noah Argamani onto a motorcycle as her boyfriend is also dragged away. Noah was rescued last year. And tonight, they are finally together again. 25-year-old Eitan Moore was taken from the Nova Music Festival as well. That's his father, overcome during their reunion. And here's the emotional moment. Segev Kalfan reunites with his family. Segev was also abducted from the music festival. His family only learning a few months ago he was still alive. And this is...
Yeah, a whole lot of acting going on, man. All right, you better believe that. You know?
Avi Ohana in a hallway, preparing for the time many thought would never come. His son Yosef, who helped others escape the Hamas terror attacks, but was then kidnapped himself. Tonight, his powerful embrace with his dad. And watch as those van doors open up to reveal Avitar David, greeting a cheering crowd. 2 months ago, Hamas terrorists released a video of Avitar digging his own grave. But tonight, he's back in Israel and back with his family. And we're also seeing the first images of Omri Moran, reunited with his wife and daughters. I spoke to his brother-in-law yesterday.
What do you hope to tell him?
I hope to tell him what an incredible wife he has, what brave little daughters he has. The entire world knows his name in one way or another and wanted to see him home.
And that's Keith Siegel, FaceTiming tonight with freed hostage Matan Angres. I love you so much, Keith tells him, and no one knows better what Matan is going through.
Yeah, you go. So you can watch the rest of that. All right. But clearly, all right, again, understand that it's at the door, man. All right? We know what peace and safety really means. Okay? Let's play this. And then we'll get back to the scriptures. All right? But this is what Trump said. We're not going to have a World War III if we're smart. President Trump. See? So here we go. Look how close. All right?
As I said earlier, I intend to be a partner in securing a better future. We're going to be working, you're going to be working with the United States, and we're going to make sure that the Middle East is going to be a safe and secure place. It's a very important place in the world, means so much. There were so many people who said the Middle East, and this has been going for many, many decades. I've read it many times, that World War III will begin in the Middle East. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. There was a time that you would have thought it could have, but it's not going to happen. There won't be.
We just read the scripture said that in Obadiah. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. See, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee. Obadiah 1:3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, that thou dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? See.
World War III, hopefully at all, but it's not going to start in the Middle East. We're not going to have a World War III if we're smart. There'll never be a World War III. Our work begins right here and right now. From ancient times, this region has been extraordinarily mixed with respect to people, culture, religions, all of the different elements of national characters, unlike maybe anywhere else on earth. And for 3,000 years, there's been conflict. For whatever reason, there's been tremendous conflict, always conflict. But today, for the first time anyone can remember, we have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to put the old feuds and bitter hatreds behind us. And that's why so many people in this room, they didn't get along. Some did, some didn't, but they're getting along now. This has brought the people together. This is the first time the Middle East crisis has brought people together as opposed to driving them apart. And to declare that our future will not be ruled by the fights of the generations past, which is foolish. So together, let us continue in the spirit of cooperation and goodwill that has finally brought us to this incredible, historic breakthrough. If we do together, we will reach the Middle East's incredible destiny, a safe and prosperous and beautiful crossroads of culture and commerce, faith in humanity and geographic center. This will be the geographic center of the world. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank you all for what you've done and for this quick notice. It all came together just at one little period. It just came together. It's, the greatest deals happen that way. If you do anything about deals, that's all I've done all my life is deals. The greatest deals just sort of happen. And that's what happened right here. And maybe this is going to be the greatest deal of them all, not just nation building, not just having to do with this or the political whims. This will be maybe the greatest deal of them all, period.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, damn devil lying through his teeth. All right. But again, brace for it. All right. It's getting ready to go down. All right. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:1. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you." All right. Because we're fully aware of what's playing out, what's going on in the earth. All right. It says, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, so cometh as a thief in the night." All right. And it's going to come as a thief in the night to those that are unprepared. All right, that are not watching, that are not occupied in prophecy. Verse 3, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they should not escape." All right, so this article literally said that, right? You know, this so-called deal is going to pursue a comprehensive vision of peace, security, and share prosperity in the region. Come on, man. Okay? You know it's about to go down, man. Brace for impact, right? "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." See? "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day shall overtake you as a thief," right? Because we are in the light. Okay, we're operating in the light of the Lord, this wisdom, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? We're aware of what's going on. "You are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others." All right, the majority of our people are asleep spiritually. All right, they're unaware of the evil that's coming. All right, the destruction. "Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober," right? Watch and being occupied in prophecy, remaining sober. Okay, circumspect. Okay, "For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night." You know, drunken off the cares of this life in the world. You know, drunken off of these false doctrines. You know. "But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, for a helmet, and it says the hope of salvation. For Yahweh by Shem Yahushua have not appointed us to wrath." All right, meaning there's others that have been appointed to wrath, destruction. "For the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahweh HaMashiach, who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as you do." All right, so we're edifying, you know, you sincere believers out there with this word, man, and preparing you for the time to come. All right, so again, this is all you know, pretty heavy stuff. All right, so yeah, this thing can go down, hell, you know, next year. You know, but the point is, again, it's one day closer to the end of Babylon, man. The end of Esau. Shalom.